All right. So, hello again. Good morning. We are going to talk about clauses today. All right. So, what is a clause? As we see in the previous video, a clause is a group of words that includes a subject and a verb. Right? Subject and verb. As simple as that. So, it can be the whole sentence or just a part of a sentence. For example, the dog runs. That's a clause. You can understand it. That's a clause. It's fine. You can understand it. And now we're going to look at these two types. Okay, these two types of clauses. We have independent clauses and dependent clauses. Let's focus on independent clauses. Not, some people also call them main clause. All right, main clause. It's fine. So in the independent clause, main clause, the same. Right. So what is this? It's a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. Wait. So it's a clause, right? Subject verb, it's a clause. But what is the difference though? Well, the difference is that this makes sense on its own, okay? On its own as a sentence. In other words, uh, well, it can stand by itself. Doesn't need anything else to understand it. It has a complete meaning, right? N- doesn't need anything else to understand it. For example, George ate pizza. You understand that? George ate pizza. It's fine. Dio went to the cinema. Also fine. Pablo reads. They play. We sit. So you can understand these clauses. Okay? You can understand these sentences. As you can see, a clause can be a whole sentence or the part of a sentence. So let's go to dependent clauses. On the other hand, dependent clauses, well, it's the same. They need a subject and a verb, but um, well, they do not make sense on its own. Right? They need more. You cannot understand this by itself. For example, because he was hungry. Because he was hungry. What is this? I need more information to understand the sentence. I need more. Well, so normally the dependent clause it's attached to the independent clause. They're together in the same sentence for you to understand. So, for example, George ate pizza because he was hungry. It's a whole sentence. Now you can understand the whole sentence. But George ate pizza also it's understandable. But if you read because he was hungry, you need more, right? So this dependent clause depends on another clause. It can be another dependent clause or it can be an independent clause. All right. So normally they are introduced by a subordinating conjunction. What is that? Well, here you have a list. So this yellow list after, although, as if, even if, even though, if, etc. Okay, because who we have been looking at that last video, right? So yes, and also, well, this is the structure more or less. Conjunctions. The conjunction is the subordinating conjunction here. These words. So let's see some examples here. Because he was hungry. After he finished his homework, before he goes to sleep, and we ate, but it fell. So, you can feel it. You do not understand this without another part, another group of words, and then you can mix them. So, Diego went to the cinema after he finished his homework. Pablo reads before he goes to sleep. Okay, they play and we ate. In this case, they are not in the same tense, so you cannot mix them, right? Sounds weird. But the first three examples, yes, of course. Pablo reads before he goes to sleep. All right, so as you can see, easy. Independent clause can stand by itself, doesn't need any more, just this. You can understand this. But dependent clause, as its name says, it depends on another clause. Right? Could be the main clause or it can be another dependent clause. So I think this part is clear. So let's continue. All right. So you can see we can mix them, independent clause and dependent clause. Erica reads our independent clause, right? Erica reads, you can understand that without anything else. But if you want to add more information, there is a dependent clause before she goes to sleep. All right, so you can mix them. So let's see, independent clause or dependent clause. I have an English exam tomorrow. I have an English exam tomorrow. I can understand this by itself. So it's a independent clause. Yes. Next one. Before I went to school. Oh my God. Before I went to school, I need something else. So yes, before I went to school, it's a dependent clause. Right? When I lived in London. What is that? Come on, guys. What is that? A dependent clause as well, right? It starts with conjunction before, when, because. So the books are on the shelf. What is that? It's an independent clause. And the last one, because she exercises every day. Because conjunction. What is this? Dependent clause. Needs another clause or the main clause for you to understand the whole idea. All right. So you can see it's easy, depending, independent, but now we have something else. All right. We have more things. It's not just that. Today we're going to look at the basics, all right? At the basics, I'm sorry. So, for example, types of clauses. We have seen that we have independent clause and subordinate or dependent clause. Main clause also the independent clause. Well, you know the difference is easy. Now we're going to focus on dependent clause or subordinate clause. So let's start with noun clause. Right? What is a noun clause? Well, it's a clause that acts as a noun. All right, it's like a noun, but it's like a whole phrase. So let's see. What is a noun first? Remember, a noun it can be a subject or an object. Right? For example, she plays with the ball. Okay? She plays with the ball. How many nouns do we have in the sentence? She plays with the ball. So we have she as a noun, it's a pronoun, and the ball as a noun. So subject, she, object, the ball. As you can see, nouns can be subject or objects. Can be more things, but just the basics today. Subject and object. So what do you do? I'm sorry, what you do in your free time is your business. What you do in your free time is your business. You can see we have two verbs, right? For do, we have the subject, right? You do in your free time. Where is the subject of is? Is your business? Your business is the subject? No, right? So this whole sentence, what you do in your free time, is the subject of is. All right? So what you do in your free time is our subject, is our verb, our main verb. Then we have the object, of course. All right, so as you can see, a whole sentence or a whole clause can be the subject of our sentence. All right, then we have she said that she was sorry. Now, in this case, what do you think? The subject or the object? Well, the noun clause, it's the object in this case. She said she was sorry. So, easy. Remember, we have a conjunction that, after the conjunction, you have the clause. So, in this case, that she was sorry is our noun clause and it's acting as an object. So, easy. It's nothing else, it's nothing of another word. It's just a noun. It's acting as a noun. And as you know now, a noun can be a subject and an object. So you have to analyze it, just that. Then we have adjective clause. In this case, an adjective clause, um, it's also known as a what? Do you remember? Relative clause, of course, relative clause. So it can be defining, non-defining, on or other words like identifying or non-identifying clauses. Relative clauses. So Adjective clause, it's also a relative clause, and if you do not know how to use it, well, you should check the other video where we were talking about um, the defining and non-defining relative clauses. And just to finish, guys, just to finish, this is short, we have the adverb clause. What is the adverb clause? Well, in this case, work. What do you know? What do you think? I'm sorry. Yes, it works or it acts as a adverb. So in this case, it shows a relationship. Okay, what kind of relationship? Well, it could be contrast, condition, reason, time. Well, last month we were talking about. Do you remember um, conditionals? Right, conditionals. We have the main clause, the if clause. Do you remember? Yes, of course. But let's see first the contrast. Okay, a contrast. Although he practiced every day, he didn't win. So, which is the adverb clause? He didn't win? No, right? He didn't win is the main clause. He didn't win. I can understand that. But if I say, although he practiced every day, well, it feels like you need something else to understand the whole idea. So, although he practiced every day, it's our depend dependent clause, right? But what kind of dependent clause? What type? Adverb clause, because it's showing contrast. It's showing a relationship between these two clauses. All right. So although he practiced every day, he didn't win. Easy, easy. The next one, we have a condition. What is that? If you help me pass this test, I'll buy you lunch. So, what is that? What kind of conditional? Do you remember? That's our first conditional, right? Present simple in the if clause, will plus infinitive in the main clause, right? So it's condition. In the condition that you help me, I will buy you lunch. That's it. So it's showing a relationship. And the last one, for example, we have now, I lent her my notes because she missed too many classes. So what is that? Reason, because it's reason, right? So as you can see, I lent her my notes because she missed too many classes. Which one is the main clause or the independent clause? I lent her my notes. I can understand that. But she missed too many classes. It's the dependent clause. Depends on what? On the other clause to you for you to understand. And also you can recognize them because they start with a um, subordinate conjunctions, right? So here you have the list. Wait a second. You have here the list. You have some examples using them, and that's all, guys. I hope you understand this because this will be important to you in order to learn this participle clauses. What is that? Well, we are going to see in another video this, but we are going to see this in class. Right after the class, I will send you the video so you can understand and you can like review so you do not forget, right, what is a participle clause. Okay, guys, again, if you have any questions, please, you can even write in this in the chat down here in YouTube, or you can write me through the platform or WhatsApp. All right, guys, so that's it. I hope you understand, and see you next class.